My name is Maya Murphy,
And I'm Kyla Bryson.
and we are going to debate the affirmative side of banning youth tackle football. We believe that tackle football should be banned. Youth tackle football should be banned because it exposes children to preventable brain injuries during critical developmental stages, creates physical risks due to disproportionate body structures, and fails to align with the purpose of youth sports, which is safe development.
Our first argument is that brain development makes children vulnerable to long-term damage. Children's brains are still developing throughout early adolescence, making them more susceptible to concussions and repetitive head trauma. Unlike adults, their brains are not fully equipped to recover from these injuries. A research article from the National Library of Medicine states that repeated head impacts, even those that do not result in diagnosed concussions, can lead to long-term neurological damage. This can look like memory loss, behavioral changes, and increased risk of conditions like CTE.
Our second argument is that youth athletes face disproportional physical risk due to body structure. Youth football players' bodies are structurally different than adults in ways that increase injury risk. A study from Virginia Tech found that children ages 9 to 14 have proportionately larger heads and weaker neck muscles. This imbalance reduces their ability to stabilize the head during collisions, leading to more severe acceleration forces on the brain during impact. Additionally, since this age group represents one of the largest that participate in youth football, the number of children exposed to this elevated risk is extremely high.
Our last argument is that youth sports should prioritize safety and development, not preventable harm. The whole purpose of youth sports is to promote teamwork, discipline, leadership, and personal growth, not to expose children to avoidable harm. There are safer alternatives such as flag football that allow children to learn the same skills without the risk of repeated head trauma. If the same benefits can be achieved without the danger, continuing tackle football at a young age becomes unjustifiable. Allowing youth tackle football prioritizes tradition and entertainment purposes over child safety. This contradicts the whole mission of youth development programs, which is safety first.
We acknowledge a strong counter-argument opposing the ban on youth tackle football, and we have considered the opposing viewpoints in our debate. For example, we believe our counterparts think that football is a pathway out of poverty for some kids. While sports can provide these opportunities, the vast majority of youth football players will never reach college scholarships or professional levels. It is unethical to justify exposing millions of children to brain injury risk for the small chance of advancement. Opportunities should not come at the cost of long-term health.
The second counterargument that we anticipate would be the fact that older kids in middle school or high school should be allowed to play. However, this debate focuses primarily on the youth, and this age range is the biggest number is 14 and under, and this is when the brain is still developing and the risk is at its highest. So delaying tackle football until later could reduce cumulative exposure to head impacts. However, this debate is focused on 14 and under majorly.
Counter-argument 3, we think that others will believe safety equipment and rules make football safer today. While equipment and rule changes have improved safety, they do not fully eliminate repetitive head impacts. Helmets prevent skull fractures, not brain movement inside the skull. Therefore, the core risk still remains with repeated tackling movements.
As we wrap up this debate, we would like to leave the opposing side with a few questions. The first question is a child's potential opportunity worth the proven risk of long-term brain damage? The next question is, if safer alternatives like flag football exist, why continue exposing children to unnecessary harm? And the last question is, should youth sports prioritize safety and development or preserving tradition? Thank you so much for listening to this debate, and we are excited to hear the opposing side stance.